Today's we are going to talk about Div Duty Officer. After my training at the IMA and College of Military Engineering at Pune, I was posted to my regiment in a infantry division, engineer regiment, where those days there used to be the duty officers for the divot quarters, the brigade headquarters, and maybe the regimental headquarters or the battalion headquarters too. So that any incidents or anything that's happening on the border is not missed out. We were in a defensive role. Also, those days there were no concept of mobile phones. Something was probably done to, have a handheld computer so that those could be, useful to the field officers. That sort of a concept was going on, and the research was on in US and the other places, but we did not have the mobiles as yet. Since I was the junior most officer in the regiment, whenever the opportunity to send a officer on duty officer was there, I was called upon to do that, being the junior most in the regiment. As you go in that duty room, you find a notice board which, apart from the other instruction, it says that in case you have any questions, doubts, or are not able to take action upon whatever is being told to you or on a phone call, you must contact the General Staff Officer 1, also called G1. So he would guide you at what action needs to be taken at your end. We were also supposed to log, all the calls and do rest of the things and hand over the duty next morning to the officer who was coming and taking a debriefing from the duty officer. On one fine day, what happened was that I was on the duty, and in the night at about 10 p.m. or so, I got a call from some general officer saying that his car had broken down. So that car needs to be brought to the workshop, repaired during the night, and made available to him in the morning. I got a little confused. I thought what to do at this point in time. Do I wake up the whole lot of people who are working in the workshop and ask them to find out what faults were there in the car and so on? So I asked, I called the G1 to give me the pran dan and tell me as to what needs to be done now. He told me, well, you find out the location of the car, where it is, and whether it is it can on its own come to the workshop or needs to be towed, and then accordingly bring the car to the workshop. And do not wake up any of the officers or the jawans for repairing the car. Instead, ask the General Sahab to give you his telephone number so that you can report back on the progress of the maintenance of the car. And don't let the General sleep during the night. Keep giving him feedbacks every hour and tell him that this had broken down or that has been done, or how other things are going, and let it not have any relation with the reality on ground, but keep him busy so that if he has chosen to wake you up, keep you up during the night, ensure that he also doesn't sleep. So I partially followed it, and we he also told me that you can in the meanwhile arrange for another car and a driver, and because he says India is not so poor as to not to be able to provide another car to the general, and the same car needs to be repaired, and from wheresoever in India he may have come from, we can always send his car back after repairing, and just don't get bothered on this issue, and do precisely as I tell you. I followed him, and next day we sent the car for use of the general. My purpose of telling this story is, the moral of the story is that if your bosses cannot think straight, start applying your mind. Think it out and do the correct action. Thank you.